Hi, and welcome to The Best Thing You Watched. Welcome back. We've got Chris from Movies and Munchies, Ruben from the Ruby Tuesday. We have a very interesting podcast for you today. If you are with us for the first time, welcome. You are most welcome. If you're returning, thank you so much for joining us once again. This week, we're going to do our top 5 each romantic rom-coms to watch at Valentine's Day or Valentine's weekend or the week of. Yes, it's exactly what Chris is doing. Thanks, Chris.
Good reason. I don't know what to do. I'm sitting here.
And then we're going to talk about the best thing we watched this week. And then in our special extra bit, which is only audio, wherever you listen to your podcasts, we will be talking about entertainment and news and perhaps a couple of extra little things for a surprise. But for now, we should jump into... I'm very excited, and mostly I'm very excited about this one because I asked Chris to do 5 of his best rom-com for Valentine's Day. But what I've also done is I've guessed 5 films that I think Chris might have. I've tried to guess what you have come up with.
That's awesome.
You don't have to tell me whether... You can just tell me how many I got out of your 5. You don't have to tell me what they are, and then we'll go through it. Okay. So what I've guessed for you, Chris, is The Proposal, Definitely Maybe, Hitch, The Big Sick, Romeo and Juliet.
2 out of 5.
Hey, that's not bad.
But
considering how many they are.
I know, and you mentioned a couple that I'm like, oh, that would have been good on the list. All right. Hey, before we begin, though, I got a question for you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do this.
Who is the most famous person that you have ever met?
Oh, okay. That is, yeah. Okay, so I've worked on a few films. Met Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Ooh.
I say met. I was near him. He didn't talk with me. He talked at me.
Okay.
And he was, I'm pretty sure he was high at the time.
That's awesome.
There's definitely a story there. You can go and check out the film called UFO, or as it's renamed now, Alien Uprising. It's him and his daughter and Pierce Brosnan's son. Sean Brosnan, I believe.
Oh, wow.
It was a very interesting film shoot, and the best thing about that film shoot was the beers with the crew, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But I was sitting in a press show where you go do the talkies and you have all the press in one room, and the guy that was with me, we asked a question for Michael Bay, and the question was, is there anything else left in the world that you'd like to blow up? And he squirmed in his seat and laughed, and that's terrible. And then wait, what was the question again? So yeah, those are probably the most famous people I've been in the room with. Yeah.
Nice biggies. Cool.
And you?
I had the opportunity when I worked in radio to meet some people when they would come by the station and stuff like that. Nice. I think. Well, I did one. It was funny because I used to have spiky bleach blonde hair for quite a while before my hair turned to gray.
Wow.
And it was
always.
Trying
to imagine that.
Yeah, it was all kinds of different colors for a lot of that. But then I just went bleach blonde for quite a while.
Have you still got pictures?
Oh, I'm sure someplace. Yeah.
Can you put one up for everybody to see?
I will look for one. Yes.
Hey.
Yes. There we go. And I'll even look for this. Well, I have 2. I think it's on my Instagram someplace. I'll have to look back and see. But I got to meet Guy Fieri, which was fun because he's a Northern California guy, just like I am. And we looked very similar. I wasn't as stocky as he was, but we both had, I believe at that time, both spiky blonde hair.
I'm sorry, I don't know who that is.
Going to Flavortown, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, Food Network,
right?
No?
No, that's not in the UK.
No, okay. Well, anyway, he's a chef turned food celebrity, I guess.
Okay, cool.
He would tour mostly the U.S. For that show and just tour all kinds of restaurants, and then have a. Anyway, it was very interesting. I was on a diet one time, and I was that's what I watched because I couldn't eat anything, so I was just watching this show, living vicariously through. And everybody else was like, why are you doing this? That's torture. And I'm like, well, it just makes me feel better because I can look at food and not eat it. But probably, you know what, I think at least the one that comes most to mind was Michael Rooker. You got to meet him. Yeah, that was a very nice man.
I'm so glad he is as nice as he seems he is.
Oh my gosh, he was actually, I think, because I think he was still, this was well before Guardians. So I think he was promoting, I don't know if he was still on Walking Dead when this came out or when I met him, or if he was, maybe it was right when, I don't know, my timeline sucks.
Slither? James Gunn before.
Oh, no, I don't think so. This was,
okay.
Yeah, my guess is it was probably
Probably
with Walking
Dead.
Yeah, but like, you know, his character of Merle and him in real life, totally different.
Totally different.
So nice. I mean, he was awesome. Yeah, you know, especially because you're walking through a radio station, going to an interview, and you know, all kinds of people are stopping in the hallway, and he was very generous with his time, and I didn't keep him there. I didn't.
Can I have your autograph?
Yeah, none of that. Just
Can you sign my boob?
Oh, well, I did that. You know, no, but yeah, just a quick photo with him. Told him, you know, I liked his work. That dude has been in so much.
He has. He's good. He works a lot.
Yeah, he does, and it always astounds me. Like when I think back and I'm like, oh my gosh, he's in that. He was in that. Wow. So anyway, yeah, okay, there you go.
Nice. Yeah, good question.
All right, let's dive in.
Yeah. So what's your number 5?
Moonrise Kingdom from Wes Anderson.
I would never have guessed you would have gone for that one. Okay.
Oh man, yeah, it is quirky.
How was it a romance?
The whole thing revolves around a romance between Susie and the boy.
I think because it's Wes Anderson, I get lost in what is happening in this movie.
Oh yeah, no, but I mean, this is like, I mean, think about it. Like they have this love story back and forth between them, and then he goes on the quest to get her, and then once he rescues her, they run away together. True. You know, the whole thing.
The whole thing is about them being together. Yeah.
So there you go. What's your number 5?
Cool. My number 5, and most of mine are old films. Dances with Wolves. It's an epic. Yeah, this is the same. I'm going to throw this one back at you. How is this a romance? Okay, so we know the actor. He's done loads of these type of films, but it starts with him just being, I guess he's a broken man. He no longer wants to be like the colonel in the army. He eventually gets picked up by this tribe, and then he learns their language, and he falls in love with this Indian woman. And it's basically about her. Him trying to protect her, and the harrowing, I'd say, adventures, the harrowing journey that they go on throughout their life, and by the time you reach the end, it's even worse, and it's like one of the worst sad films ever. But yeah, I just love it as a sad romance. It's one of those that it's epic though. It's like 3 hours long.
It's it's been a long time since I've seen it, but I loved it when I saw it. It's a good choice. Well, not obvious choice, but it's a good choice.
Not an obvious choice. Yeah. When I had to keep one that was like, what's one I would like to watch that I could push as a romance, because sometimes the guys, you know, there's some that are just not quite for us, but we sit there and we go, yeah, okay, for my partner, I will watch this. But this one, I think it does have a real love story at the heart of it.
Sure. So I could argue Gone in 60 Seconds with Nicolas Cage is a love story. I mean, because, you know, he loves cars, and is that way? No. Okay. Fair enough. No. That's a good try. No. You're right. There is a huge love story within Dances with Wolves. I mean, that's why I think it connects so well on a lot of different levels. Is because you become emotionally invested in them and just their progression together. So.
I mean, saying that, we had a car film recently where Titan, where
I still haven't seen that, but I know.
Where she has some fun with a car, and then you know, stuff ensues like it naturally does. That's a romance. It's not on my list.
Yeah, maybe if I saw it, it would have been on my list. I don't know.
Maybe it'll be on your list of never watch this again.
Could be. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people seem to have loved it, and I'm not sure. I don't know if they love it because it was just so weird, or if it's really well done, or what it is.
No, I hated it until I loved it.
Okay.
It's like 2 films. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay, so what's your number 4?
My number 4, What's Up, Doc? Have you seen this? Ryan O'Neal, Barbara Streisand, comedy from 1974.
Oh no, that's like way before my time, Chris. It's a pretty old film. Wow.
Okay, I didn't see it in the theater. I mean, I was not
day release.
Yeah, no, I'm not even sure I was. Yeah. Anyway, it's very quirky. It is very, very funny. But it's also a love story within there, and it came out right after Ryan O'Neal's Love Story, that movie, and at the end of the movie, he pokes fun at his movie, which I thought was great. Right. But it is. It's this very quirky romance.
Is there any singing in it?
Yeah, Barbara Streisand sings.
Barbara Streisand, right?
Yeah, she does sing a little bit. But she is, like, I'm not a massive Barbara Streisand fan, but this, I mean, she is outstanding. You can see why. I mean, in this, just because her comedy timing is outstanding. I mean,
I think people will be surprised at how many films she's actually done. You're going, look, she's done a few.
Prolific, yeah. So this one's got a huge cast. Also,
okay.
It's and
I can't believe I haven't even heard about it.
Oh my goodness, no, you need to watch it. It is one of my favorite, like, top 10 movies, I think, because it's just so much fun. It's very family friendly, totally clean. Very, we quote weird lines everywhere.
Oh really?
So yeah. So anyway.
Well, that's interesting. It's good if it's quotable. Normally the bar, yeah. I mean, in different genres, like Anchorman, is quotable for different reasons.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, in this one, Dodgeball.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this one, they're always out of context, but it's it still works.
Okay,
anyway,
I'm definitely going to put that on the list and see, and then I'll come back to you and say what.
Oh no, you will come back to me and say thank you. I loved this.
All right.
Yes.
All right. The gauntlet has been thrown. My number 4 is The Bodyguard. I actually think this is a great romantic film.
Gosh.
Deeply sorrowful in parts. It's quite a drama. The story itself is quite gripping. It's really tense in parts. Kevin Costner is superb. Wait a minute. I just realized I got 2 Kevin Costners back to back. Wow. Okay, that's a mistake. Well, obviously have a thing for Kevin Costner.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
And I grew up in a household because my mother is a singer, my sister's a singer, and they play Whitney Houston forever, which is not a bad thing. She had an incredible voice, but I thought they captured something quite spectacular in that film, and it was really clever because everybody knew the songs, right? Even though she was playing someone that was a singer but not herself, and then you had that story of the person trying to kill her, and then the bodyguard who was the stoic dude he's like his shell just keeps breaking down as he gets to know her more and more. And the really fantastic end sequence I thought was great, which is why it's my number 4.
It's I saw it. I rewatched it like a year ago or something. It had been forever since I watched that, and I was like, is this going to hold up? And I was surprised at how gripped I was by it still. I mean, I was, and I get chills, when the song comes on, and it's just it's that heroic moment, and just them together, and yeah.
And to this day, I've never heard a version of Jesus Loves Me sung like that before, which is like actually really powerful. I was like, damn, like I know loads of people that would just cringe at that song, but that I was like, dang, yeah, well that's why they can sing. My mother says they can sang. Yeah, it's very cool.
Yes. Wow. Okay, good choice. Again, unexpected, but I like it. It's really good. All right, my number 3, which was on your list, Hitch.
Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah, it's. Yeah. I mean, no. This is where you live. What is that? Stop that! Don't ever let me see you do that again.
How many times have you seen Hitch?
Oh, it's been a little while since the last time I watched it, but I could watch that a couple times a year.
Right.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the combo of Will Smith and Kevin James together.
Yeah.
I mean, Will Smith is brilliant, but you bring in a little bit more of the goofy, but a different goofy than what Will Smith is, and those two together just.
If they both manage to bring what they bring best, and then at that time, I think that's what Will Smith was doing best, because he wasn't doing very many serious films at the time. He was more like action comedy. Yeah, so he did this Hitch thing, and then we had Kevin James, who has that timing as well, and they just played off each other so well. So where it is a rom-com, it's almost like a guy rom-com as well. It has like two halves. Not that they were in like a friendship, butting heads sort of, buddy cop almost sort of friendship, which worked really well with him trying to school him into, this is how you got to do the love, man. Really great, really funny. It's a good choice.
So what did you actually do for him? Not a damn thing. It's
awesome. My number 3 is a film that when I watch it now, I get sad because the main actor's dead.
Oh.
It's Patrick Swayze, and it was a toss-up between Dirty Dancing and the one I'm going to talk about, because my wife loves Dirty Dancing, and I know and most women would consider, but I have to go for what I enjoy watching with my partner. And it's not Dirty Dancing, like, even though I know it is romantic and but for me, Ghost is a really great love story, mostly because Whoopi Goldberg was in her prime there, and when he comes as the ghost, like there's moments where he's like possessing her, and then there's like even that was weird, or he's just not letting up until she recognizes that actually this is a real thing that's going on. The comedy between them two. So apart from the romantic side of it, and that great scene with the pottery that everybody always memes, it's great, and it's beautiful, and it's sad, and actually has a really good mystery story in there, which I thought was really fun, because you're always trying to find out, well, how did he die? Why did he die? Who did it? But the Whoopi Goldberg duo, and I know Whoopi Goldberg at the moment in the news is not doing well, but she did do some incredible films that I used to look forward to what she was going to do next.
Oh, yeah.
And this, for me, was one of her best.
I still can't, and this is spoiler warning if you've never seen Ghost, but every time I see Tony Goldwyn in any other role, I instantly think of him in Ghost. And I don't know why. I don't know if that's the first time that I didn't know. No, there's something just about it, a little shifty there.
Just something not right.
Yeah.
Every now and again, a character or an actor plays a role so well that when you see them in other roles, you're like, I remember you. You're bad. I don't like you. I don't trust you. You can jog on.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Number 2. Little. Well, I don't know if it takes place in Ireland. It's an Irish film. Why not? But rom-com, Leap Year, with Amy Adams and Matthew Goode. You seen this?
I think so. I think it's been a while if I have.
Amy Adams goes over to surprise her boyfriend, Adam Scott, to propose to him. Because on Leap Year, there's a tradition in Ireland, I guess, at least according to the movie, where you can, the woman can propose to the guy, and she goes on the road trip with Matthew Goode.
And there's a scene with sheep. on a road and they get stuck in the
Yes.
car. I'm trying to remember if it's that.
Yeah, or the cows. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I like Matthew Good. He's great. And Amy Adams is a great duo.
This was one of those also that we watch, could be several times a year. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. But it's probably once a year now, but and it's always, it's a comfort movie. My wife loves it. I love it too. I think, the comedy really works. The duo of those two, their timing, their chemistry, because they're oil and water for a lot of it, and that, I mean, the movie's predictable. It totally is.
For sure. Most of those are. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's okay. I mean, because that becomes the comfort because and you hope that, we see them, how good they are together, even though they don't see it yet. We're rooting for it down the road. And so, yeah. And then you have the two or three Irish guys who just periodically pop in little bits here and there, and they expound their Irish wisdom through sayings.
Always cracks me up.
Always cracks me up. So great.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Makes me want to move.
Before I do my number 2, if you're listening or watching, give us your top 5 below. And how can you have missed these? I'm sure there are, because there's so many. There's so many. There are hundreds.
It's going to be massive. Yeah.
And it's also very personal, I guess. Like some films, romantic ones especially, will resonate you. Resonate you, literally shake you. No, will resonate with you because of like a point in the moment where you were feeling sad and it lifted you up, or something happened in your life. So sometimes those type of films are really personal. So let us know your top 5 in the comments below, or tweet at us at Best We Watch and give us your top 5. And we will talk about it next week. See what people came up with. I think it'll be fun to kind of see what people suggested. Okay, my number 2, also probably one that you're not going to have guessed. One of my favorite films of this particular actor and also actress, I guess, but it's a weird one. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh,
it's a bit of a head trip, but the central premise is all the love story, and I just love the quirky indie vibe of this. Jim Carrey, man, when he does stuff like this, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love his over eccentric, overacting comedy that works for him well when he was doing them, but then he ventured off into doing like The Man in the Moon, my favorite, Good Morning, Good Evening, Good Night, in case I don't see you, The Truman Show, The Number 23. So he had this little spat of really interesting, different, diverse films, and this was one that I was just blown away by. But also, like emotionally, I was like, "Dang, that was a good story."
It's been a long time since I've seen it, but yeah, I
guarantee you, like once you put it back on, you can be like, "Yeah, I forgot." I think the dialogue, the script was so good.
I remember liking Kate Winslet as well in this, and just them together, really. Kind of tragic, right? I mean, they're
sad.
I'll have to revisit that. Yeah, I saw it on as I was searching for ones just to jog my memory too. It was like, oh yeah, but no, I can't really speak to that because it's need to rewatch that one again.
Need to remember it more before I go. Yeah,
exactly. Oh, it's been wiped from my mind, so it'd be like watching it for the first time.
Great.
All right.
Wait, I see what you did there. Yeah. Took me about 7 years.
Yeah, okay, so my number 1, and this one is, predictable. But I could watch it a lot, because the timing of the leads, the whole cast really, yes. But which one? You listed 2 Ryan Reynolds films.
Okay. See, I prefer Definitely Maybe, but The Proposer is also very good. I'm going to go Definitely Maybe.
Definitely not. But
okay.
But no,
it's
that
The
is
Proposal.
Definitely Maybe is such a good movie too. I mean, even with, the young Abigail Breslin and that relationship and telling the story and, what's a term for a male slut? They're still working on that.
Gigolo.
I love it. But no, the proposal, I mean, it okay, so we know Ryan Reynolds can do the comedy, whatever, but I love that it brings in also Sandra Bullock's comedy. That she gets
she's got great timing.
She does. She's so dry in it, and just and then you've got Betty White, just and what's his name, Oscar from The Office.
Oh yeah, of course.
Just the whole thing. I mean, it's all predictable, but it's also some of that comfort there, and just that one makes me laugh like a lot because again that. Right from the very beginning, that even though they have this setup that they're going to fall in love over the course of a weekend, which probably is not very realistic, but whatever, they've worked together for a long time. So it can be believable then. But but I would, if I'm going to do an honorable mention, I'll put definitely maybe in there as the honorable mention.
Nice.
And really, because as far as a love story goes, it's an unexpected love story because, we have not only the three tales that he's telling to guess who the mom is or which story is which, to get to the mom, but then knowing that they're divorced or that they're getting divorced. You know what I mean? And so it's bittersweet, but then there's the hint then of, well, there could be something still. And so just that part of it, okay.
Nice. Yeah.
Cool.
Good choice. I really want to watch those again. It's been a while since I've seen them, but I know I enjoy them a lot. If I were to do honorable mentions, it would be two that I couldn't put in this one because they're more Christmas ones, but like Love Actually, one of my all-time favorites. And then the one with Jack Black where he's a musician. They do a house swap.
Oh, The Holiday.
The Holiday.
Oh my god.
Probably would have been my number one.
So good.
If I didn't have Notting Hill as my number one.
Wait, I'm surprised that you put this as your number one.
Yeah. I watched it recently.
Okay.
And it was Spike that I forgot how much I loved Spike. And I was like, all right. Yeah. So you got Hugh Grant's The Bookstore, and I'm an author, so it immediately resonates with me when you're like, anybody goes into a bookstore and there's a story there. I'm like, yes. We watched Pretty Woman yesterday. And Julia Roberts, and I was like, wow, that has aged really well, because we thought it was going to be films that you can't make today because of and it wasn't like that at all. It was really more empowering, and Richard Gere was great, but Julia Roberts, her timing. And I was like, this is why she was so good. She did that romance, those moments that you just can't help but like love her. And when she's laughing, massive smile, she's known for that. And then the romance that comes out of this, it was a bit of a different take for her because she was more somber, more. She had some laughter in that, but it was really more Hugh Grant that was bringing that kind of comedy. And then obviously Spike. Oh my gosh, yeah. And I was just like, yeah, dang, okay.
This is the one, she's the actress, right? So it's the Horse and Hound. Interviews. And then
when he's in doing the interviews, the Horse and Hound as press. Yeah, I definitely resonated with that. Like not knowing, the readers of Horse and Hound would like to know.
Are there any horses in space?
In space.
Oh, and that's also the one with the dinner party where his sister sets him up, right? With several of the dates, and the one who's what is the one where the she only eats fruit or vegetables that have fallen off the tree or something like that. So these carrots have been murdered. Yeah.
And Spike ends up with the sister, I think. With Hugh Grant's sister. I actually just love that whole family as well.
Yes.
They come across as so real. So when they're across the dinner table, you get some of the hurt that has been there, because the wife is in the wheelchair, and there's that whole history and how much they love her, but at the end they're so invested in trying to get Hugh Grant and Julia Roberts together that you're like, yeah, I'm with this family, man. I really want there to be a happy ending. I think there would have been a riot if there wasn't.
Oh yeah.
Like, you sit through all of that.
Yeah, well, correct me if I'm wrong. He's not a brother. I think he's just a friend. He was like a lawyer or something like that, who's kind of like either lost his job or losing his job or something. Like, isn't he? Oh, poo! The name has completely left me now. Shoot. He's been in. I mean, he's a big.
You talking about who her? Yeah, he is a very well-known British actor. So Ralph Ifiens is Spike.
Is Spike? No, he's a minor character in this.
It's Tim McClarney as Max. Because Gina McKee is Bella, who was
no, not because he's the brother too. Why am I not?
It's gonna
maybe I'm
now.
thinking I must be. Oh no, okay. I was thinking somebody else, and it's not him. Okay. It's James Dreyfuss who plays Martin. Oh no, that's his idiot shop person, right? Hugh Bonneville.
Yeah,
you know who I'm talking about? Hugh Bonneville. He's in Downton Abbey. He's Mr. Crawley.
Right.
And he's in Paddington and stuff. He's the one that I was thinking of. Like, he's one of the friends. He's Bernie in Notting Hill there. And so just I don't know why I brought that up. Stream of consciousness within my head.
Thanks for that.
There you go. Okay, welcome. Small insight into Chris's head where it just...
Yes, so he's just their friend that's always there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's basically a part of the family.
Yeah, exactly.
He's always awkward with Julia Roberts' character. Like, even when they first meet, he's like, right. your salary. Oh, so how much? So you're an actor. You doing okay? Yeah. How much? She's like, 11 million. Oh. So good then. You're like, oh my gosh. He just, and then he finds out who she is, and he's just like mortified.
It's such a good choice. What a great, very rewatchable too.
Oh yeah, for sure. You could stick it on at probably any point. Like if it's one of those films that's on TV and it's halfway through, you could probably just watch it from there, and you'd be like, yeah, I'm all good.
Totally, yeah. Well, and Rhys Ifans he steals it, doesn't he? I mean, every time when he even opens the door with just his underwear.
His different outfits are amazing. Like when he tells him to change his shirt because it's offensive, and then he's like, "Is this better?" He's like, "Yeah, much." And then on the back, it says something horrific, and you're like, "Oh my gosh!" Or his goggles and like wetsuit outfit,
which then Hugh Grant is wearing at the movies. Just kills me. Oh, it's so good.
It's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good list.
I think that's our list. So let us know once again what is your favorite romantic films to watch. It doesn't necessarily just need to be on Valentine's Day or whenever. We're always looking for. Maybe we'll find a few that we haven't seen. We'll add to our list.
Yeah, my wife I think would probably add, even though it's very, very sad. I was going to say A River Runs Through It, and that's not correct. It's Brad Pitt, Aidan Quinn, Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
Juliette Binoche? No. Maybe.
What's it called? It's not The Shadowlands. Flippin' heck. It's a great film. It's really sad.
Very sad, but huge.
Like, it's really depressing.
Yeah, but a huge just romance within there.
It's a sweeping romance, like really epic.
Yes.
And it's quite old now, though, right?
It is. Yeah, it's gosh, I want to say it's probably early 90s at most.
Because I think it's before Brad Pitt did like 12 Monkeys and 7. What the hell was it called? That's gonna really bug me.
It's driving me nuts too.
A River Runs Through It. was great. Oh, Legends of the Fall. That's what it was.
Thank you.
Is that right?
Legends of the Fall. Legends of the Fall.
That's the one you meant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, because it was...
My gosh, that film's depressing.
It is. Well, it is, but it's... I mean, yeah, I think she loves it because it brings so much emotion, you know.
Yeah, but I can't watch it because of that. Like, it's too much.
I can't either, but she loves it, and she's like, oh my gosh, it allows her to connect and say, okay, cool, that's awesome. I'm glad that, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's too much for me. I sometimes think guys are more emotional at the rom-coms than women are, because with me and Kirsten, okay, she definitely is less likely to want to watch a rom-com than I am. And like, no, it's romance time. Let's do it. So I don't know.
It's funny how we classify romance, and you know what I mean, like how it connects with us versus typically.
Oh, yeah. yeah, exactly. Yeah. Great. Okay, should we move on to the best thing that we watched this week?
Yes.
It's going to be an interesting one, I think, because we've
going to fight about
something? Talk about it. I think we might fight about a couple of things, to be honest.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Well, why don't you kick us off then?
Okay, I'm just going to roll off two that I saw. It's a Lifetime movie, A Painted House, based on a true story. And the next one is a horror called Cannibals and Carpet Fitters. Cannibals and Carpet Fitters, yeah.
Where is Cannibals and Carpet Fitters?
Okay, so
what?
That is actually a real movie. There's a guy, you can look him up on Facebook. He's done a number of films. Name's James Bush.
Okay.
I know I've been chatting to him on Facebook, and he did a short movie from Predator and on YouTube, and it's got like 9-10 million views.
Oh wow!
It's a short movie set in the Dark Ages, literally called Predator Dark Ages, and it's garnered a lot of interest. But actually, that was just a joke because you've been painting your house and you've got carpets coming.
Oh.
So but you didn't get it. I was just like, I was waiting for Chris to go, because the first one is a real movie as well, Lifetime movie, A Painted House, Chris.
Oh, jeez. Okay, so a little background. I sent Ruben a picture because, yes, we are, my house is just destroyed at the moment because it's got to get worse before it can get better. And so we're having new carpet installed, but we had to paint all kinds of stuff. And before that, we were working in the garage. Well, and so I sent Ruben this photo of my looking down from our landing on the second floor into our living room, and everything covered in plastic. And it just looks, I told him, hey, Patrick Bateman is
like Dexter.
Over.
Like you've decked out your kill room for sure.
You totally. Yeah, I sent my son basically what I had told you. Patrick Bateman came over and invited me to listen to some Huey Lewis, and my oldest son texts back and he's like, "Hey, Paul."
Nice. Yeah, if you'd invited me for dinner right then, I'd be like, call me next week when that's moved.
Yeah.
If you walk into a room and there's plastic underneath your feet, run.
Yes, well, sometimes you just got to take care of it. 2021, 2020, 2022, it's been a rough year. We're just going to take out a little bit of stress and aggression on something. I don't know. That's not a confession at all. There's nothing buried in my backyard at all. Nobody.
I'm sure.
No.
Pet Cemetery 3, here we come.
Yeah, no, that mound out there has been there for years. It may look fresh. Sure. It's not. Yeah.
No. Okay. Okay, I'll start properly this time. No jokes. Okay, so I think off camera, I mentioned to you I had a difficult week that I started with. I was just tired, a bit burnt out, and so I got stuck into reading. So this is it's visual because I see it in my mind when I read, and I don't think a lot of people would have read this, but once they find out who has written it, so this is Suzanne Collins who wrote the Hunger Games trilogy.
Oh, okay.
And we got 4 films since then, which is, it's done pretty well, and people like that story. Before she wrote that, she wrote a book of 5 books called the Underland Chronicles. And it's all about a very poor family in New York. And there's this walkway. I say walkway. this kid has to do the laundry, and he's always looking after his little like 2-year-old sister. And in the laundry, there's this tunnel that sucks you down into an underland, and it's like a mixture of Narnia and a bit of horror. It starts off much like, I would say, like the Harry Potter books starts off, where it's very young in audience, like what goes on, but it just gets darker as the books go along. It starts off at about 200 pages per book, and then once you reach the 5th one, it's like 360. Wow. They're so good that once you start, like once you're caught up in the characters, I didn't stop until I'd finished all 5, and that gives you an idea.
Oh wow!
Like, yeah, so I'm done on all 5. Here is the first one.
Nice.
Gregor the Overlander, and you can see the mouse there. So if you think about 2,000 Leagues Under the Sea, or 20,000 Leagues, Journey to the Center of the Earth, that kind of story, where all the creatures in the earth are massive, but also very intelligent. Most creatures can talk or talk in their own languages. There's sorts of weird prophecies, all kind of links into like Harry Potter with the the boy who lived, that sort of thing. And it really is written to be one contained story. So by the time you get to the 5th book, it's finished. It's a done, complete story. But I was so immersed. I was amazed. I was just like, this needs to be a film or a TV series. Like, it's shouting out. It needs a budget, because I don't know how you're gonna. You need to digitize animals and large ones, but you can do it nowadays. You can do it well. I think if somebody picks this up, I'd be surprised that if it didn't do really well, and we ended up with like 6 films or something. Nice. Because they'll break one up to be 2. But yeah, I just thought I would do a mammoth book review thing quickly. 5 books in one. Once you start, give yourself a couple of days and take 2 days off work or something, because you just power like, yeah, through it, huh? I'd just rather just do this now. Goodbye, world. And I don't know if you ever do that, Chris. Sometimes it's a really good book that you've gone through a couple of chapters and you're like, yeah, okay, this is me now today.
I have lost large chunks of sleep for like, I could, can't put the book down, or I'm like, okay, I'm just going to end at this chapter. No, 6 more chapters in, I'm like, oh my gosh,
blurry-eyed, you get up to go to work, like, why did I do that?
Yeah. I mean, I know I have to stop when I've reread the same sentence 12 times, and it's like, wait, right. What's going on? Okay, yeah, I don't remember. I just gotta go. Yeah. But, I think because she has the track record of bringing the content for the Hunger Games, and how much of a moneymaker that was, I could see that. I could see that being a much easier argument, you know what I mean, than a first-time author or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that would be cool. And I think, adventure is always fun, and that's something new. You know what I mean? It's not a sequel.
It's different. Yeah.
Yeah. But then it feeds into the studios need to do sequels, because look, you have a series that's already planned out. You're not waiting for more books to be written.
Honestly, I'm surprised they haven't done it yet. It could be a massive universe like Harry Potter again. Yeah.
That'd be cool. Run on.
All right. So what is the best thing you watched this week? One of them, at least.
I think, well, quickly, maybe Murderville. It's funny looking at comments on a lot of different people's videos and reviews and stuff like that, just even in my own, of seeing what people found funny, what they didn't find funny about it, and I think that's actually the beauty of this Netflix series, is that because you have several different guest stars within this show of all, different varying backgrounds. And so you may be a huge fan of Conan O'Brien, and you absolutely loved his episode. Me, it was kind of okay. My wife didn't really enjoy it at all. I don't think you liked it either, right? Yeah. But but then see, with me, we had to stop and pause it because of Kumail Nanjiani's the way that he did it. I was dying. But I've also heard other people who are like, no, I didn't like his. I thought his went on too long, or it was overdone.
No way.
Yeah. And
seriously?
So
wow.
Yeah. And so it's like, well, that is the beauty of this, is that you have,
I guess.
you have, like, I was really excited to see Ken Jeong's, and I was actually really disappointed with his, because I don't think he knew what to do. You know what I mean? Like, you see him and he was repeating what Will Arnett did a lot of the time, and I just don't think he found his groove within there. You know, somebody had mentioned, oh, I would have loved to have seen him as Chang, you know, from Community. Had he done his character in this as that, I think that would have. I think that really would have worked there. Yeah, I just think he didn't know what to do, and so he's laughing through a lot of it, which was funny. I mean, I found that to be very funny, that because he doesn't know what to do and he just can't keep a straight face, he just goes for it and he just laughs through it, you know. But I think the beauty of the series is that it, if you didn't like this one, well, watch the next one. First off, it's not very much time, you know, and then you can, you know, maybe that one will connect with you.
I think even if you don't find it funny, there's still high entertainment value, because you have the opportunity along the episodes to really look for the clues. So once you get to the end of the episode, they go like, and then they state, well, I think this person, because I remember this person had that and this person had that, and you're thinking, oh yeah, I missed that, or you kick yourself like, why didn't I see that about the shoelaces, you know? And then like you give yourself a little tap on the swords and you're like, I like my wife and I, we were trying to guess like who did it, and like if I got it right, I'm like, yes, I did it, I'm a detective, I can do it. But funny story, because I watched the Conan O'Brien one and I wasn't going to watch the rest because I was just like, this is terrible. I don't understand why people find him funny. He's a talk show host. I think maybe if Jimmy Fallon had come and done it, because he's an actor, he has acted, he might have been better. But Conan O'Brien, I just don't get why they asked him. Like, I know he's got a following. Was that the reason?
Maybe,
okay, fine. So I was just like, oh, please don't let the rest be. And then you told me about Nanjiani. Oh, what's his name?
Kumail Nanjiani.
Kumail Nanjiani. Thank you. And so it was one of those nights I couldn't sleep this week. 1:30 in the morning, I stuck on that episode, and 10 minutes into the episode, I'm trying to be quiet because my wife is completely asleep, but the bed is going. Because I'm containing my laughter, and I'm like. So then I made Kirsten watch it like the next day. I say, you got to watch this one episode, because we missed the beginning, I think, of what it was that they was unscripted for that particular guest. So it was really weird. So like, what is this? But once you know it's unscripted for that one guest on each one, then it makes it really exciting because you're wondering how they're going to react to the scripted story, what they're gonna do. You know, just Sharon Stone trying to catch a heart and then screaming like a little girl. I cracked up. It was brilliant.
Well, the blood spurting out everywhere.
Yeah. So good.
Well, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Kumail, I think the bit that Kirsten and I were almost falling off the couch. Kumail's trying to walk. He's trying to do the cool walk. And then there's this, you got to have a unique sound. And when he did the sound, oh my gosh, we were crying. It just, what?
That's when we had to pause it.
I couldn't handle it. I had like high-pitched wailing, laughing.
So good. Yeah, he was my absolute favorite within there, because nobody else, while I did laugh at some of them for the most part, you know, in different spots, or I got a big like reaction chuckle type of thing. His was like that gut laugh where I just almost passing out just because I needed to catch my breath. You know, one thing that I didn't even mention in my review, but you know, it was fun to watch the characters break character because they would. But did you, all of the murder victims, that was like, you would watch
when they would move. Like even in did you check the mouth and you just like, wait, why is that corpse moving? Why is that corpse smiling? Or just a little slight involuntary movement that they've not been able to keep still. Yeah, really funny.
So good. Yeah. And you know, normally you would, all of these things would be bothersome. but because of how the entire show is set up, I mean, it just
exactly, yeah.
Totally.
I mean, you could never get away with that in an actual drama or even a comedy. Your corpses should not move.
No, yeah, absolutely.
It really works here. Yeah.
Oh, fun.
It's great. That was on my list as well.
Oh, cool.
So, have you seen this week's Mandalorian? Because I'm really enjoying the season 3 of Mandalorian.
I have. I actually watched it last night. Yes.
Great. Okay. So I'm obviously talking about Boba Fett, but the last 2 episodes have been Mandalorian.
Yes.
But oh my gosh, I don't think I've geeked out this hard. Obviously, massive spoilers, but
yes.
The amount of Star Wars things that they put in this one episode, my nerdy brain was like exploding. I mean, again, massive spoilers. Luke, I think they've really nailed the CG for the way he looks.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, but when he's got Grogu on his backpack and he's doing the flips, and I'm like, this is Dagobah. This is amazing.
I love it.
I mean, there were so many other moments as well. Did you? That's one of the best things I've seen. Did you watch it, or what did you think?
Oh, I loved it too. I mean, I've been enjoying the series. You know, the Book of Boba Fett. I've been enjoying it. I know a lot of people haven't, but whatever. I've been having fun with it. And was it at the end of episode? Was this 5 that just came out?
This is 6.
Okay,
yeah.
So at the end of episode 4, I was out in the garage working, and my son had already seen it, and so we have it playing on the TV out in the garage, and we're just, I'm cleaning up stuff, and I've been watching, but because I'm not reviewing this, it's more of just something that I'm enjoying to watch. You know what I mean? So I'm not, I don't have to sit there riveted
not fully,
every single, everything that's going on the screen. I can listen to it, I can look up and watch it, and then do something and keep watching. And my back was turned. And I heard the Mandalorian, my son, so my back is to the TV. I hear the Mandalorian, like just the beginning of the theme song. I like stop and I turn around to my son, not watching the TV, watching me because he's waiting for my reaction because he knows it's coming, And I'm like, what the? And he goes, uh-huh. And so then, last week, episode 5, all about the Mandalorian, the Book of the Mandalorian, and not a Boba Fett at all, which was cool and weird all at the same time. But
it was weird.
This one, I mean, I loved how much of a Western it became again. I mean
absolutely. I mean the standoff, we actually had the Western bit.
Well,
and I really, really hope he's not dead because I love him as a character.
I was so right. I mean,
I knew that he was going to, because who he was up against, if you know anything about him.
Well, and I didn't like I didn't know, because it's Cad Bane, right? That's and so I recognized him from when my kids watched Clone Wars.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I knew him from. Yeah, and he was badass.
But I didn't really know anything about him other than I recognized just the stance and everything. So when he was very far off when we first see him, I'm like, wait, is that?
Who is that?
Is that dude? And I had the name wrong, and my son was like, no, that was a different person who's in. And I was like, okay, whatever. But I knew who this person is. I mean, he's like blue, right? Before we get to see him, and he's like, yeah, that's totally him. But when that standoff comes and that idiot deputy comes out, know that something bad's going to happen there, and it's like, just will you not listen? But even when the episode kicked off with Timothy Oliphant as Cobb Vanth. That his name?
Yeah.
Right. It made me remember back into the first season where I'm like, dude, I really like you as a it just.
I hope we get to see more of him, and then he's on this episode, but then he gets shot. And I'm like, you can't do that.
Now he's shot up here in the shoulder area, so I'm hoping that he is alive, but just.
Yeah, that deputy, though, I'm so glad he got shot like 5 times because he was the worst.
Oh, yeah, he needed to go. Yeah. So, but even, when you go back, okay. So my son was telling me that like the scene where it opens up with the 3 Jedi battling against the clone troopers and stuff. Like, I guess there's a whole bunch of Easter eggs within that as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
that I didn't pick up on. And even one of them, I think, at one point that it had like there was like some symbol on the wall that only.
If you're gonna like go frame by frame, I'm sure you're gonna pick things up.
I was like, I don't know. Okay, but the seeing Ahsoka was outstanding.
Yeah,
it makes me excited for her show that's coming.
Can't wait to see. Yeah.
So just
the choice though that Grogu is left with, where he takes either Yoda's saber and becomes one of the greatest Jedi masters of all time, guaranteed, but he can never see the Mandalorian again. I'm sorry, but we all know he's going to choose the Mandalorian, right? Like, without a doubt.
Now, see,
you know how I know?
Because there's
his ship has the little dome and doesn't have an asteroid droid. They've just left it there open, and I guarantee you that's where Grogu's going to be up, looking around in his ship.
I hadn't thought about that.
That's what it is. Yeah.
That's well, and okay, so even and I'm not sure if with Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett, if they're kind of retconning and making the sequel trilogy not canon. I don't know where they're going exactly with this. I've heard little grumblings here and there that maybe this is their way to
do their own thing.
Yeah, to switch course maybe, or take these out of being canon. But think about the 3 sequels that we got in recent years. There is no mention of Grogu. It's only Yoda, even when we see Luke later in life, and when he starts his academy, Jedi Academy, where Adam
but
Driver
you still have lots of Force users or Force ability. They don't have to be Jedi. I think that's the way it's going to be. He's not going to be trained in the ways of the Force, but he's going to have affinity to the Force.
Correct. Yeah. Well, I can see that because if you figure that he's not mentioned anywhere else in there, so he doesn't become Luke's Jedi. I can see him going with that. I mean, just the detail of the package that for Grogu being ahead of looking like his head. I mean, just how cool is that? Just
it's great.
All those little details and stuff. And I didn't know. I mean, it's cool that it was that little chainmail shirt type of thing like Bilbo gets or Frodo gets, but anyway, I'm digging it too.
Yeah, I was very impressed with that. One last geek out moment. So the scores from both The Mandalorian and Boba Fett are excellent, but I think it was the first time we heard it in episode 5 where they joined them together, and I was like, that is so cool. I love it. Like I want it on vinyl. I'll listen to it on loop.
Oh yeah. Well, in episode 6 we had what is it? The Jedi.
Oh, the actual score from the Jedi theme come in, and that was powerful. Yeah.
I was making some dinner, and so I had it playing on a screen, but I wasn't watching every single frame, and I heard that, and I'm like, whoa, wait, what? This is outstanding. So,
yeah, it's great.
Yes.
Okay, now that we've geeked out about that, what's next on your list?
Well, we didn't talk about this last week, mostly because I think I hadn't watched it yet. And I'm not sure if it's actually the best thing that I watched, but Feria, The Darkest Light.
Did we not talk about it?
We didn't talk about it. No, I hadn't watched it. I know that you wanted to kind of maybe at least touch on the ending there, which I'm like, what the crap? The whole show, this supernatural occult type of mystery thing.
So the more I think about it, I'm not sure it's good. But I really like the idea of it. Like, it's really interesting. The lore, the creature design, all of that is excellent. And I thought the CGE was amazing.
It was really good, yeah.
So what did you think? You say you've seen it now.
I have seen it, yeah, and I think as a show, it takes too long to get to the end. You know what I mean? For what the payoff is, I think there's a lot of circling around the story versus just attacking the story and moving forward through it. So for that part of it, that was a little bit of a bummer for me. You know,
I think the payoff is I think you hit the nail on the head. It has a Stranger Things vibe, but Stranger Things gives you the monster and the payoff. A couple of episodes at the end, you get to see a big fight off, with 11. The worlds collide, the doors open, and that's what we were getting here. But really, the doors were just like opening, and then we had one thing come in, and they stop it, and you're like, you can't make us wait. You have to give us the boss battle if you're leading up the whole way through to it.
Yeah, and that was because that's a long series to get to, and minor, big spoilers, I guess. Just her opening the gateway to hell, and that the thing coming out with, I thought was freaky and weird, and I actually had to rewind
very cool.
it. Yeah,
great design.
Well, and I rewound it a couple of times because I was like, did I miss something? Wait a minute, I thought she was closing it, or she was choosing not to, but because there was other blood there.
I don't think they followed their own law that often because, like, how did it come through? If you needed to do all these things, why couldn't you have just come through anyway? Yeah, did it have to be your blood? Could it be someone else's blood because it wasn't her blood? Then when it came through, I was like, what? Yeah,
it was very. Yeah, it was weird. I mean, I'm still gonna, like, if they come out, which I hope they kind of come out with the second season, but it's tighter. I do want to know,
like 6 episodes.
Yeah. Get to the point faster. Get us through this. I want to know what's going on, just to kind of complete the story. But
there were some very creative, interesting stories within the lore when they were building up to it, like the creature in the mouth. And how it would control them, and the veins, and how they would just die suddenly, or being controlled to kill somebody else. I thought that was all very clever, but that they did take their time in getting there.
Well, and again, it sticking to their own lore, or not sticking to their own lore, I guess maybe, because it's the demon couldn't live Decta. Something like that.
The Deca.
Yeah, couldn't live outside a body for very long, and we see that happen when it goes out of whatever and it just dies in the middle of the street. But then it becomes the black goo from X-Files, and then it goes everywhere and it's able to survive. Yeah, so I didn't. Yeah, and that thing didn't make sense to me.
I don't understand
the whole way through. Yeah, but I did. I mean, when it died and you saw all of it go out, I was like, ooh. That has some really big ramifications right there. And why didn't you do that before? But then also, how did it come back if it's... Anyway, yeah. It was more so, I think, just it was a bizarre series for me. So, yeah, there you go.
Okay. Yeah. I'm hoping we get a second season, but I'm not sure we will because I don't know how much of a bigger audience it has. But I would love the story to be finished properly.
Yes.
That makes sense. Yeah. Maybe do a feature film. You could do that. A one-off feature.
And I think, I think as a film, which I thought it was actually when I first saw it, I thought it was going to be a film. But yeah, I think that would be a much better way to tell the story.
Yeah. None of the like teenage angst stuff that we didn't really need.
Well, it didn't add anything. That was the thing. Yeah. It just, it went nowhere and it was kind of weird. So.
Yeah. This is more to kind of let everybody else know that they should be watching this. I didn't get to watch the whole series, but I believe only episode 1 is aired. Oh no, 2 episodes have aired so far. It's a weekly episode. It's on Apple TV. It's called Suspicion. All right, are you good?
That's what I watched. Well? That's why I was up until 1:30 last night. Yes.
Oh my gosh, I started watching it late, and I was like, "Dang, this is really good. You've hooked me from the get-go." It helps that it's British because, let's face it, like drama British, the tenseness created around atmosphere, perfect.
Yes.
But then you get the weird kind of culture clash, American, British, and it kind of works. Mm-hmm. So you have all these people that they seem like they're not connected. They're just going about their daily lives. But someone gets kidnapped and put in a suitcase, and that's where you start. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. So, okay, tell me what you think, because I loved it.
I did too. I was hooked in. I mean, and if you think about it, not much has actually happened in 2 episodes. I mean, they have spent an amazing amount of short period of time really to invest us into these characters who are still strangers, but make them all very compelling, and at the beginning seem wildly unconnected, seem very innocent, but by the end of it have me questioning whether or not they actually could be involved or not. Or is it just a series of coincidences? And that's what this is now. This is very intriguing as a mystery goes, because there's all kind of doubt, but then like the title, there's all kinds of suspicion because, you know, I mean, oh yes, it was, I agree. It's very British. And because I had just come off watching another series that we may talk about, that is definitely written for an American audience. I was so thankful.
This was fresh for you.
I was so thankful to have something that was not obvious from the very get-go, that was written well, that had complex characters, that was able to bounce through a lot of different characters effectively and keep me engaged in each one of them, you know, and just, yes, this is, I've only watched, just the first 2 episodes, and I am hooked as well. I don't know how many episodes this is, but it's,
keep talking. I will tell you how many there are.
When it's got, okay, so so you've got all kinds of different, like actors that you might know, or like you see them and, you recognize them. I think probably the biggest name within there maybe is Uma Thurman, at least right now.
Yeah, for sure.
But you have, and I'm not even going to attempt their names because I don't remember her name, and then his name I'm going to screw up. But one dude that was he was actually in The Big Bang Theory as Raj, I think is his name.
Oh yes,
in that.
Of course. Yeah,
he's in this just great at kind of the meek and the stuttering and the you know, like, whoa, okay, and you're very sympathetic, but yet now you're bordering on like unbelievable, which is nice because I need that. If you're a fan of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Simmons, she's in this.
She's great.
Yeah, she is the
Also, I'm a big fan of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. What is it? Roland Emmerich? No, he blew up the moon.
Yes, he did.
Noah Emmerich, I think, who, he's in, is he in Truman Show? He's in, I know he's in Frequency, with Jim Caviezel and Dennis Quaid. But anyway, he plays like the American, expert. I don't know. The whole cast really is, they've hooked me within this because of just how shielded they are, or with their information. You know what I mean? They all have this shroud of mystery around them. Oh, the other dude, the one guy who's running around in the background, he's from World War Z, where he runs on the plane and shoots himself, or getting off the plane with the gun and shoots him in the head. Yeah.
Oh, the head. Yeah. No, it ricochets and kills him.
Yeah. He just like he's barely in the he's barely in the movie.
I was so surprised by that. Funny.
Yeah. So anyway, okay, you were looking up how many episodes?
Yeah. So there's 8 episodes, and it finishes on the 18th of March. So
this
week
is
by week.
Definitely one, I think, if you have not subscribed yet to Apple TV. I mean, they have been coming out with some, and not just recently. Really, I mean, they've been coming out some really good content.
Really good series. They're kind of kicking butt, man.
Yeah.
They're a little understated, a little bit unknown that they've got some really, really good series on there.
Servant is outstanding. Also, I'm still weirded out week after week.
I'm so freaked out by Servant, man. It gets weird. I was like, Charlemagne needs to be doing this. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Write more like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, so we've come to that part of the show where Chris and Ruben put on their boxing gloves. Now,
What is that? What is that?
Let's put this in context, right? Austin gave this an 80%. And I'm not saying I often disagree with Austin, so that doesn't mean. But I've checked other reviewers as well, and generally this has been received really well. And then I went and read a little bit of one of the books I have, and the description fits the actor perfectly as to the type of person he is, how he looks. So they've nailed him. But I'm obviously talking about Reacher. But playing devil's advocate, I recently we watched this season, then we went and watched the movie. Now I know Tom Cruise doesn't look anything like the character. Like it's ridiculous that he was even cast in the role. It's just probably just because of his name, right? Yeah. It's the smallest actor in the world playing one of the biggest blonde dudes. It's ridiculous. But the film holds up in the light of knowing Reacher's background, because of what you find out about him in the series. So as a little side thing, if you watch the series and then go watch the films are better because of the series, which I thought was really funny.
Oh, that's interesting. Huh. Okay.
Yeah, because they were like, oh, now I know how he's acting like that, whereas they haven't given you that information in the movie, but because you know the information of how he acts, because you know what's happened to him as a child in the series, then yeah. Okay, so anyway, the reason why the actor is so reformed and strong and stoic is because that's how his character is written. That's how he is. He walks into every room and he's calculated. He's looking for his exits. He doesn't talk a lot. He's has presence. But you didn't like it?
Okay.
Because you gave it a really low score. Wait,
1.5.
And before you carry on, 1.5. And before you carry on, I could not finish Raising Dion season 2. The acting and the story was so just like, come on. Like, I like the special effects and I kind of like the idea of it, but I think the main kid's acting is not great. He does bug me a bit. I think his two friends are great. The little lady in the chair, I think she steals every scene she's in with them. I just don't think he's a great actor, but I also think the story is just too long. It takes too long to get there. It's so soapy. So, but you gave that a higher score than Reacher, and I'm like, what? Chris, explain to me. Not that you have to. You're allowed your own. You're allowed your own motivations. It's just friendship over.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I was more forgiving with Raising Dion because it's made for kids. You know what I mean? It's made for a younger audience. Yeah. So
but it's also very dark in places.
It is. Like, it is. Yeah. Okay. You know, and this is a weaker season than the first season, I think, because it rehashed a lot of stuff and didn't give us everything. It had its own issues, so I'm not going to deny that. But yeah, I am. The reason that I'm more lenient on a show that's geared towards the younger audiences, just because the complexities within certain things, you know, it can't be there. Now, could it have been much better, and should it have been much better? Yes, absolutely. So no question there. Okay, so Reacher.
But 1.5.
Yeah. Okay. So I know that I'm in the minority of this. Okay. I mean, even based on all of the comments that I'm getting, that, you know, people love it. But here's the thing that everybody seems to, is that, so the character that we see on the screen is representative of what's in the book. Okay. And I acknowledge that he is very menacing. That he is a big hulking dude who I like, that he's very short, that he's no nonsense, that he gets to the point, that he's not going to waste time, that he is brutal when it needs to be. All of that totally, I like that. I like that of his character. My issue was, well, and people have even said, you know, you didn't read the book. How can you, you know, do this? Or my microphone just took a crap there. You know, how can you haven't read the book? How can you're comparing? Well, I'm not reviewing the book. I'm reviewing the series.
Exactly. No, exactly. That's never a good excuse. It should be able to stand on its own.
Yeah.
And explain everything it needs to. Yeah.
Exactly. But I approach this because of how it sets it up, that there is a mystery involved. you know, of what's going on. And from the very beginning of from the very first episode, I knew who the players are who are responsible or involved in it.
You did? Because I thought it was one person and it ended up being another person.
Oh, I knew the mayor was involved. I knew that the son was involved.
Yeah.
I knew that the dad to some degree was, you know, involved. The corporation.
Because I thought the dad was like the big bad. And he was pretending to be nice.
Yeah. Now I did not know that. Okay, spoilers here. I don't care, but in case you do, that. Okay, so it's about the laundering of money, or not even the laundering, the counterfeiting of money to send outside of the U.S. to other countries. Okay, so I didn't know that. That was unimportant, really, to it. I mean, the why. You know, it's more of what happened, and because you're chasing this murderer, or these, you know, these murderers, as is established very early on. So the brutality of it, I liked. I liked when there were fights because they were just he went for it. They were. I mean, that was good. His acting took me a long time to get into.
Okay,
and it's not because of him playing this character as stoic. As in him just being not like I just couldn't get into him as an actor giving me this character. Now, by the end of the first episode, I had kind of accepted it. And I was like, okay, this is who you are. This is how you're doing it. This is
what it's going to be.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to just get on board with you and just follow along. The dialogue I felt was stupid. That it was written for an American audience, and I just offended a ton of people there. But
I think you're right.
I mean, and now here's the thing. Like too many thoughts in my head. Everybody's like, you know, this sticks really close to the book. And my thinking is, come on, no. This book couldn't be that obvious from the very beginning, right? I mean, you've written this.
It sticks closely to the book, but they've missed things out, which the TV series hasn't had time to put in, which is probably what you're feeling, I'm guessing. Like
to obscure some of the mystery, because that would bug me. Like I have read, it bothers me to no end when there is a mystery book or something like that where I guess it within the first third of the book or something like that. That I have this much left of the book, and I know what it is. I'm just waiting for the absolute confirmation that I guessed it. That's come on, you know. And so that's where my question comes in: is like, does it really? Come on, the book has to be better than this, right? It has to, because there is a large amount of books written for this character, and you know, okay. It was somebody in the comments had told me, it was like, you know, no, this sticks really close to the book. And then somebody responded to that one and was like, well, I watched this series and I thought, well, maybe I should read the book instead. But now you have confirmed that I will not be reading this book at all.
That's hilarious.
And that made me laugh because I'm like, yeah, come on, you know. Now, will I watch another season of this? Yes. I'm curious at where it goes. You know, I liked. Some of the actors grew on me. Some of them, whether or not it actually sticks close to the book or not, you have to admit that it's ridiculous. The mayor with his golden cane with the crystal on there, who literally was and polishing it up. Are you
See, that's kind of, I mean, that's kind of, it's interesting how, because you've been a bit saturated with like American shows, so you gravitate towards the British shows. And because I grew up in South Africa, gravitate towards the British and the American, because very much so in South Africa, the American is like way better quality than what the stuff that you get in South Africa.
Oh, okay.
And so, and I didn't have any upbringing to British stuff until I got to the UK. And so, now, whenever I see like a hero of mine that I've read about, I think I will like. So it's an interesting, because it's a juxtaposition, and I'm wondering if that is part of it. Whether audiences in the UK will like this more than audiences actually from the US. I don't know if that's true, but it could be part of it. I'm interested to see what they do with the second season, and I really liked it, not because the story. The story was basic, and I knew what was going to happen for most of it. The action sequences were great, but I think I was emotionally engaged once the story with the brother came to light. I was like, yeah, okay, I'm on board. I want the vengeance story now for him, but that didn't draw you in.
No, okay. It didn't. I mean, I like that it kind of sets up who he is, but like I went through the whole series, and my wife and I are actually having this conversation. Like, is he supposed to be on the spectrum? Because you get, the autism spectrum there, because you look at like some of the behaviors that he has as a teenager, and
could be, I don't know.
But see, I didn't get you can.
I don't think it was written to be like that.
Well, that's what it is. Like you can tell when when a character is, because they have just some certain quality. Like, and so I was like, well, I hope it isn't, because he's not capturing that. He's, you know what I mean? And some of it I think is just more of the upbringing, that he's
regimented. He did have a very interesting upbringing.
Very weird. Yeah, I mean, his mom calls him by his last name, which is weird. You know what I mean? And some of it even didn't click with me, and maybe I'm misremembering it, but how through it, the dad being punished and the dad being pissed off because the kids did something, and the dad being punished for it, which is natural, but just being disappointed in them and everything else. But then at the end, well, even the mom being kind of disappointed with them in that they did this. But then at the end, where she's dying and her telling him that she was proud of him for doing that, for choosing his own path, for standing. I'm like, see, those two don't match, because you didn't still support him as a kid from what we see in your decisions, or in his decisions. So, can I comment on the CGI tear at the end? That when he gets it.
Do you think he just couldn't cry?
My wife, who had already tapped out of the series, almost threw something at the TV. She was like, "Are you freaking kidding me? That is seriously?"
But do you know how much that would have costed you? And they also have there's an ointment that you can put on just here that will naturally produce a tear. So I don't know why they would have had to CG it.
It was so bad. Anyway, I can respect that this has a huge fan base, that people love the book series, that they love the character. And I'm glad that they got a character now who resembles what was written in the book. You know what I mean? And I knew that was one of the, even though I haven't read the books, I knew that was an issue with the Tom Cruise movies, that everybody was like, that's not Jack Reacher. He's tiny. He's not even the same hair color, just all of this. That doesn't work. So I am glad that we have now a character who matches this. I just want a better story. If I'm going to invest...
there's lots to choose from, so hopefully they have a better story in next.
Yeah, and if you're going to give me a mystery and you're going to take me on 8 hours of it, I need to not guess it right off the bat.
At least halfway. Yeah. 4 episodes in, fair enough.
Yeah, you can't mask. You can only cover up so much with violence. You know what I mean? Because this wasn't an action series. I mean, it's a mystery series and a drama series with some action in it. And okay, fair enough. But the drama and the mystery has to be compelling enough. And that's what I'm going to stand by I actually, when I started my review, which is not much better, but I was at a 2. But the more that I had gotten...
A whole 2? Wow.
A whole 2, yeah, because I didn't like it anyway. But I got more and more pissed the more that I thought about it. And I was like, are you kidding me? You have this, or now you've wasted my time. It took you forever to be here. You have all of these implausibilities, all of these things that just don't make any sense. And I mean, him, like I mentioned in my review, he goes from murder suspect to being in the investigation as an equal, or even more so, just like Alyssa Milano did in Brazen. Tell me it's not any different.
It's massively different.
Okay, so he's not an author.
Gosh, Chris really didn't like this, y'all. Sound off down below and tell him why he's wrong.
Yeah, well, they already have, which is
they have.
Which is fine, and that's okay. And I totally respect. I mean, that's the thing, that you can totally love it. I mean, I gave my reasons why I didn't. I feel that I have justified those, but at the end of the day, it is an opinion. You know what I mean? And if
it's okay to be wrong.
Yeah, you are okay to be wrong. It's okay. No, but you know what? I mean, I think if you loved the series, that's awesome. I'm glad that you find enjoyment out of it. That's the thing that, I mean, because how often, I think it's actually very uncommon to have a book, to love a series so much, maybe outside of Harry Potter, that once you see it on the screen, that you still love it. Because more often than not,
it's very rare. Yeah.
They lose so much in that adaptation. So that is thrilling that they were able to capture, the showrunners were able to capture the story in a way that people who love the novels can get in behind it and can love it. So, hey, wonderful. I just didn't like it.
On that note, I think we've come to the end of our discussion where Chris talks about the reasons he's wrong. And we're going to go into our podcast section where we're going to talk about things we're really looking forward to coming up, and entertainment news, and possibly a special thing from me.
And we will talk about, Ruben doesn't know this, but we're going to talk about a talking penis also.
Okay.